Okay, hello guys, I'm going to do my Let's Play today, and today we're going to be doing Bastion. So, I played a little bit of this, well actually I played quite a lot of this game. I've played enough now that I feel like I can reasonably do a Let's Play and a review. So I think the full average game time is about 8 to 10 hours. So I played about 6 hours. So I think I'm about halfway through, 3/4 way through, and I feel I kind of stopped for a while because I got Elder Scrolls 5, and I got Star Wars: The Old Republic and The Witcher 2, and I started playing those a little bit. So I kind of stopped playing Bastion, and that's just out of personal preference really, but I'll kind of go into that maybe in this Let's Play, probably more in the review though. So yeah, let's just get into it and I can kind of go through it. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's see. No, I don't want to start again. I'll continue from where I left off, and then I can kind of give you the idea about what it's about from a mid-game standpoint. Let's see what you're getting into. So, I mean, it's a good game. As I was saying, out of personal preference, it's just not the type of game that I want to play over the other games, really. And that's not really the game's fault. That's more just my. It's not my fault either. It's just we just don't seem to, you know, work very well together. I still enjoyed the time I played with the game, and I still enjoyed my experiences I had with it. It's just I don't feel like I'm just not prepared to play the game any more than I already have, to be honest. When I've got other games that I enjoy more, it's just not an effective use of my time. Now, when you first start the game, all these sections here are completely locked. You have to unlock them as you go through, and the premise of the game is unlocking these, as far as we know. Not too much is given away about the game and the game's story. You kind of just have to live through it, really, and you kind of unlock these areas, and then you can place whatever you want down. So here we've got a distillery, which is kind of like buffs you can get. So I've got a +1 chance to carry on if you defeated, and damage stranding foes if defeated. And then here I've got survive an attack that would have brought defeat. +10 max health, all those type of things, and you can unlock up to level 10 and unlock more as you go. And then we've got the arsenal, which is where you unlock all the different weapons. So we've got the Kale Hammer, the Fang Repeater, Breaker's Bow, War Machete, Scrap Musket, Drawing Pistols, Brusher's Pike, Army Carbine, Fire Blows, and Gallant Mortar. They're all pretty good. Cow Hammer's what I use. They're all pretty good at different things. It's kind of it allows you to fit around a certain playstyle, really, which is kind of it's useful, let's say, because it very much allows you to give a variety of playstyles for different different levels, because you can switch within the level sometimes if you find an arsenal within a level, and it also allows you to find more like find a different experience within the game, just simply because it's gives quite a variety within the game between all the different combos you can create, because you can have 2 weapons with you at once. All these are the same, I prefer the dueling pistols, and they've all got their side effects and their advantages, because some of them do area effect damage, some of them you have to reload, like with the pistols you have to reload, but all of them have like a certain reload time, certain reload speed, because the dueling pistols reload after about 8 bullets, I'd imagine, something like that, and then obviously you can fire 2 at the same time, whereas the army carbine fires 1 very high damage output, says there, and you have to kind of aim it, and it takes time to aim it. There's like a cone that comes up, and then you have to reload straight away. Same like with the fire bellows, the fire just a stream of fire to chop down like some trees in the game, that type of thing. But you can damage enemies with it as well. And then you've got all of these like extra abilities you get by pressing Q, I believe, or E. I think it's Q. And you have all these different abilities. Some of them are weapon unique, like those two, and the Fang Repeater and the Breaker's Bow for those two. But Sneak Decoy is probably the one I prefer, because it allows you to have against some enemies, they can chase you and do quite a lot of damage when they hit you. So if you have a decoy out, which kind of makes like a double that you can sneak away with, you can kind of the only time you can damage them is behind them, kind of like the Dead Space and the Dead Space 1 creatures, Dead Space 1 monsters. So it's kind of useful for those type of situations. Again, that's like an example of it diversifying the games and how you get around the problems. So this is just another little extra you can get. You can collect the certain pictures within the game, and you get certain ones from different levels. And then over here we've got the shrine, and you can buy these from certain people, and you can also from the people in the Bastion, which is this place. You can buy them from oh no, you buy them from the Lost and Found shop, which we'll go into in a minute. And they can add, they basically make the game harder. So there, if I have hints, goes to pain and pleasure, foes shall strike with greater ferocity. So that basically means, and you get no bonus. You get no bonus. So a lot of them don't give you a bonus at all. Well, all of them I have don't give you a bonus at all. So they basically just make the game harder if you want them to. I don't really use them because, as I said, I wasn't really. I wanted to know the story more than anything. That's the reason I was playing. So I didn't really want to spend too much time on the gameplay. But, again, if you really like this game and you do pick it up, then you want to try and make the experience as full as possible. Then you have that option, which is a nice addition. And then here, the Lost and Found, you can buy these type of things, something sharp, something stringy, something heavy, something foul, all these type of things, nasty burnt, all those type of things, they add an upgrade for different things. So something sharp, see here, is the War Machete upgrade, this is the Galleon Mortar upgrade, the Fang Repeater upgrade, Breaker's Bow upgrade, all those type of things, and then you've got ones that just like you can just buy and just use. There's a few of those which give you perks, and then let's go along to the last one, the Forge, and this is where you improve your weapons. So if I wanted to improve the Breaker's Bow, there's like a talent tree system, and then you have to spend your little coin shard things, I can't remember what they call. They might not even have a name, as with the way of this game sometimes, and you have to kind of unlock them as you go. Excuse me, I'm still trying to get over the cough that I had last week in Update Monthly video. And there's all these different type of perks. So I can get arrows cause damage over time if I like. In fact, I might get that now.
A special surprise,
and then if I ever use the Breaker's Bow again, I can go straight in and just pick that up. Now, we've also got these two main characters over here. Well, when I say main characters, we've only actually encountered about 4 characters in this game. Your character you're playing now, who doesn't have a name, everybody refers to him as Kid. Especially the narrator over here. called Rux. He's the guy you're hearing in the background whenever somebody says anything. And I'll get on to more of him in a minute. And he kind of tells you the story of the game as you play through, and can comment on a few things. But there's this woman over here, Zia, and then you've got the kid who you're playing as. One person's run off and destroyed this monument, which is a story point, and I'm not here to tell you about the story as usual. You know, that's just I'll kind of do that more in the review. The Let's Play, I won't go into that very much. And then you've also got these things like the steam ball, which kind of just add a little bit extra when you pick up from things from the game. They kind of end up here
just
sometimes.
Can't get enough of that good home cooking, can he?
So there was the narrator again. Yeah, so sometimes you can add extra. They're just little extra, like pets. Sometimes, like you can have a squirt monster
Knocks
pet.
him into an uneasy sleep.
So basically, what happens is you end up in this place called who knows where, and you basically have to do certain challenges and certain time trials for
What's he thinking?
extra bits of
See
story.
if I got this straight. I only heard it once.
So the narrator kind of gives away extra bits of story as you go through. I'll kind of do a few levels to show you. There's the bullets in the bottom corner you can see, and then I have to reload. And then I can show you Q, which is the decoy. Kind of sneak around. And when I use that Q ability, it uses one of my... Oh, that guy's not dying. Oh, there we go.
Once there was a normal Ura girl, but she wasn't born in the Tassel terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Ceylondia.
So these things use up the Qs. Wear whiskies. And every time I use my ability, it runs down one of those. So I can only use it 3 times, and these bottles you can pick up and they're scattered around the level. They're quite useful. And then the same principle for these essentially, but the health flasks are for life. Now these are quite an interesting type of creature, monster that you can kind of find in the world. Every time you hit them, they kind of shrink in like that. And they can actually diversify the level a little bit, because you have to kind of think about how you're going to complete the level when there's more than one of them, because you can only attack them like one at a time. And then there's my shield here, which is kind of again useful for getting around certain problems, because you can only block one monster at a time, and sometimes you can kind of see where, like when they fire, you can kind of bounce back off of them, and those lines you can kind of find out where they're going to fire. So sometimes you can find
condition they would never return to the terminals.
So sometimes you can find a place where they both are firing in the same place, and you can kind of use that to your advantage and
it was a way to reduce the risk of
use that against them,
leaking out,
which is again quite useful. Then you've also got these scattered throughout the level, which throw you into certain positions. Yeah, so these type of things, you can see that they're firing in certain lines. This one fires in circles. So if I stand here with the shield, then I don't get damaged. Whereas if I stand in maybe in the middle, then I wouldn't. Then they'd attack from both sides, and I wouldn't have a chance. So these are reflecting off all angles, but they're killing them pretty slow. Ooh, and then I die.
Where were we?
And then you've got this: when you die, you've got a 2 chance. You've got a certain amount of chances. You've got 3 chances. And then I can get up, and that takes about 1 of my chances. And after those 3 chances, and you die 3 times, that's it. That's the level over.
The mama passed away from birthing complications, leaving the girl trapped inside that city with no one but her father.
Right, so there, you heard the narrator, and he was kind of explaining what I was trying to say, where you kind of, after each reflection, as they're called, which is basically each level that you survive, they give a little bit extra of the kids and the bastions and the world's story background which you live in, which is very interesting way of kind of explaining the story, and quite a good one in fact, because it kind of, the levels are fairly, I'm not going to say generic, because they're not generic compared to the other games, but they're generic relative to the individual and independent game. So it kind of diversifies away from that,
than a brusher's pike, so he got a job working
and
for the
still
city's manses.
allows,
His daughter barely saw him.
and still allows good. Oh, here's what I was talking about earlier with that. So it's useful to use the decoy, so you can then go for him and you can shoot from the back. There's that life wine using again because I almost died. Now another useful thing I'm going to show you now because I'm almost dead is, well, it's not very useful, it's just very interesting. You can actually run off the edge. And every time you run off the edge, it drains your life a little bit more. And when it drains your life a little bit more, you're just thrown back into it, really, like you just saw. That's all that happens, and then eventually you do die. But every level's set out like that, so it can... And it can get a little bit annoying, because originally this game was made for Xbox 360, and then it was changed. Well, it wasn't changed. It was it sold really well, did really well on Xbox, so it made its way to PC and Steam. But because you're not playing on a, well, I'm not playing on a controller, you very much fall off every now and again because it's very difficult to find your way with the keyboard and mouse in the angle, I suppose, in the angle that you're looking at. So, I mean, there you go. That's life one using again because I've used that chance. And I want to try and get that heal up.
Gain a knack for strings.
So, oh, there we go. So it's not the best part of the game, let's say. It's not the highlight. It very much gets on my nerves quite a lot, and I've died a few times from doing so. And they can also make holes in the level. There we go. That was that at the end of that. So I can just go back to the Bastion. So yeah, it's caused me to lose the level sometimes, and there can also be holes in the level a few times from enemies. Which is actually kind of nice. I mean, it does add a bit to the game and the level, because it kind of changes the level design up a little bit. Because most of the level, I'm going to be honest, most of the level design is pretty much the same. So yeah, this is kind of in my overview. You kind of seen how the different monsters are affected within the game. And you kind of heard the narrator a little bit, and I've kind of gone over the story, and you've kind of seen, and I've kind of talked about the level design, and I've kind of talked about the character development a little bit as well, and how that's explained through the and who knows where places, and also here's the square I was talking about. It doesn't do anything, you just pick it up in like the first level.
Come on, give the little tiger a break.
And it doesn't really do much. Then you've got the ankle gator, who again doesn't really do much, it's just there for looks, I suppose. Then you can kind of do a little game, and you tell him to stay, and that's where he stays for the duration until you tell him to come again. I think he may follow you as well. Yeah, it looks like he follows you, so I can get him to stay there. I've got the mailbox, which again doesn't do anything. So yeah, kind of got a little bit distracted, but yeah, that's kind of been my Let's Play. It wasn't really a Let's Play, it's more look at, but that's kind of the point of this, just to look at it quickly and kind of show you, by quickly I mean about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, gameplay. So you kind of seen the characters and the level and the creatures' design and how they're varied. A lot of reviewers at some point said some of them have said critiques said the creature development and creature variation wasn't good enough, really, which I kind of disagree with. I think it's developed enough and varied enough, along with the level design which they put them in, to kind of give you a challenge within each level. It's just whether or not that challenge then becomes too repetitive, or whether or not that challenge then becomes too it just becomes not as interesting, pretty much. Just because, yeah, maybe just because it's too repetitive, I suppose. I don't really know. So yeah, you've kind of seen the Let's Play, and you've kind of that's my overview, really. So my review will be going up next week on the full review of Bastion. So yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.